Let's find out which lost soft drinks of the past are your favourites. The top 10 drinks that you would most like to see make a return. What do you think will be number 1? Stay tuned to find out. As with the other top 10 videos on lost chocolate and lost crisps, this top 10 has been compiled from more than 2,000 comments that you've left on previous related Stuview TV videos, such as the ones on your screen now. I've noted how many times each long lost soft drink brand has either been mentioned as a favourite or one you would love to see back. With all the scores tallied, I can now present to you the top 10 lost soft drinks you would like to see return. The first lost soft drink on our top 10 countdown is actually still available in certain countries. However, as this is a UK based list, Cidrax certainly qualifies as it was discontinued here way back in 1988. Hugely popular in the UK during the 60s and 70s, Cidrax, manufactured by the now defunct cider company Whiteways, was an apple flavoured soft fizzy drink, often sold alongside its pear-flavoured equivalent, Peardrax. Although it disappeared from UK store shelves in the late 1980s, Cidrax and Peardrax remain bestsellers in Trinidad and Tobago, so much so the drinks are now seen as being part of the island's culture. Although Tab, produced by the Coca-Cola Company, was first introduced in its native United States in 1963, it didn't make its way to the UK until the late 70s. Tab was Coca-Cola's first diet cola drink, proving to be a popular alternative to regular Coke. However, the writing was on the wall for Tab as early as 1982, when Diet Coke was introduced, this new alternative soon overtaking its predecessor in terms of sales. Despite this, Tab remained in production in the United States until 2020, having been discontinued in the UK in the mid-90s. The Tab Clear variant was introduced in 1992, but only lasted a meagre 2 years.
Tab Cola has a beautiful taste, so good for beautiful people. Tab Cola, beautiful to you and me, 'cause every can has less than 2 calories. Tab Cola looks a beautiful shape, just right for beautiful people. Tab Cola tastes so good to you. Great taste, low calorie. Tab.
Here comes the lilt man, lilt. Here comes the lilt man, lilt. Lilt with a totally tropical taste, pineapple and grapefruit. Lilt. Ah, the sun is bright, lilt, and the sand is white. Lilt with a totally tropical taste, with a totally tropical taste. Lilt.
Technically, Lilt, with its totally tropical taste, does still exist, albeit under the name Fanta Pineapple and Grapefruit. In 2023, 49 years after it first launched, the Coca-Cola Company decided to rebrand Lilt under the Fanta banner. Despite initial reservations from many people, the Pineapple and Grapefruit Fanta has proven to be a good seller. However, many of you would still like to see the return of the Lilt brand name, making the drink fully deserving of being on this list. After all, the jingle "Here comes the Fanta Pineapple and Grapefruit Man" doesn't quite have the same ring to it. Favourites of both tuck shops and chip shops over the years, Panda Pops were probably the brightest coloured soft drinks you ever saw. Available in a variety of fluorescent colours matching each particular flavour, Panda Pops were fairly inexpensive, which, along with the packaging, made them a huge favourite of children. The big downside to the brand, which eventually led to Panda Pops being discontinued in 2011 after 35 years, was the fact that they were loaded with sugar. Manufacturer Nichols bowed to pressure, delisting Panda Pops in flavour of healthier still fruit drinks. If you were a child during the 60s, 70s or early 80s, nothing made you feel like a grown-up quite like a Top Deck shandy. Combine a can of Top Deck with a candy cigarette or a pouch of sweet tobacco and you could almost feel that middle-aged paunch start to grow. The next thing you know, you're shopping for slippers and one of those cardigans with the football buttons on. What made Top Deck one of the best shandy brands around was the variety of flavours, such as limeade and lager and lemonade and cider. Can you imagine such a product being promoted as a children's soft drink these days?
You know, lying around on the beach all day, hot and thirsty, having sand kicked in your face, you feel in need of a little revitalisation. Now, Top Deck not only makes you feel like a new man, it crushes your thirst like no other can. Excuse me.
Yes?
Do you have the time, please?
Top Deck in 3 flavours crushes your thirst like no other can.
One of the many fondly recalled brands of fizzy drink delivered to your door by the fabled Popman, Alpine sat alongside other similar home delivery brands such as Lowcock's, Schofield's, Bon Accord and one which I will get to shortly. The particular brand of pop you had delivered would often depend on whereabouts in the UK you lived, with Alpine being particularly prevalent in the north of England and Scotland. There was nothing quite like the excitement of hearing the rumble of the Popman's lorry pull up outside your house. What Alpine delights would be left on your doorstep this week? Lemonade, limeade, cherryade, iron brew even. If you had never heard of Quattro before and were asked to identify the decade in which it was from simply by the packaging, most people would guess correctly as it being the 1980s. The font used for the name along with the colours just radiate 1980s design. Incidentally, the name Quattro was derived from the 4 fruits used as flavouring, with the 4 colours representing pineapple, orange, passion fruit and grapefruit. Made by the Coca-Cola Company, Quattro was only around for a relatively short time, lasting from 1982 to 1989. Despite this, many of you have recounted fond memories of downing a can of Quattro alongside your favourite chocolate bar or a bag of chips. The Quattro name still exists as a Coca-Cola brand in South America, although this version is simply grapefruit flavoured. Just like its longtime rival Top Deck, Shandy Bass was the perfect drink to make you feel all grown up and tough when you were a kid. The fact that at one time Shandy Bass, available to children everywhere, contained 1.1% alcohol is really hard to fathom these days. The level was eventually reduced to 0.5%, which is about the same amount of alcohol present in Ben Shaw's Shandy today. The original Shandy Bass was officially discontinued by makers Britvic in 2018, and they currently have no plans to bring it back.
Hi, man. This is Cresta's new flavor, black currant. I wonder what's... Black currant flavor, huh? It's okay.
Cresta, not in 5 fruity flavors.
It's frothy, man.
As stated in the legendary slogan, "It's frothy, man," Cresta was more of a foaming drink rather than a standard fizzy pop. First introduced by Schweppes in the early 1970s, there were 4 flavours in the original Cresta range: orange, strawberry, pineapple and lemon and lime. More flavours were added over the years, including lemonade and the legendary cream soda. As a frothy drink, Cresta was notoriously volatile when opening the bottle, with many ceilings across the country still bearing Cresta-induced stains today. The classic television adverts featuring the Cresta Bear ensured that this most unique of soft drinks will remain in our memories for many more years to come.
Baby, I will be your ever-loving fan. Give me the drink I really love, a bottle or a can. It's frothy, man. I don't want to drink no shit, 'cause man, that's really rough. But when it comes to Cresta, here's one bear that just can't get enough. It's frothy, man.
Just before we find out what has made the coveted #1 spot, here is a selection of other favourite soft drinks that didn't quite make the top 10. With every bubble passing its physical, Corona is the overwhelming #1 lost soft drink you would like to see make a return, scoring almost 3 times as many mentions as second place Cresta. Founded in South Wales as Thomas Evans and Son in the 1880s, the company name was changed in the 1920s to Corona. When many of us reminisce about the days of the pop man, it is the Corona name that often springs to mind first, depending on whereabouts in the country you lived, of course. The Corona flavour range in those distinctive glass bottles was legendary: cherryade, limeade, lemonade, orangeade, cream soda, dandelion and burdock. Which one was your favourite? An interesting piece of trivia you may not know: it was Corona who first introduced Tango in 1950. The brand was then retained by Britvic when they took ownership of the company in 1987.
Come on, move, move, move. These aren't just any old bubbles getting into this bottle of Corona. No, sir. Are they fizzy? Everyone has passed the Corona physical. Nice. Oh, it's really tough back there. No.
Corona. Every bubble's past its physical.
That's it, boys. Let's see you fizz, fizz, fizz.
Did your favourite lost soft drink make it into the top 10? Are there any other long-lost brands you would have liked to have seen included? Do please let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed today's video, a little click on that like button is always much appreciated. As always, thanks for watching and do join me next time for more nostalgic goodness.
It's frothy, man.